Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.
The air in Port Charles was thick with tension as everyone gathered inside the Metro Court's private dining room. The invitation had come out of nowhere, a call from Ronnie himself, asking everyone close to the recent chaos to meet. No one knew exactly what was coming, but the tone in his voice had sent chills through each person he spoke to. Even Sonny Corinthos, who had seen more confessions and betrayals than most men could handle, couldn't quite read this one. Carly stood near the back, arms crossed, watching the door with suspicion written all over her face. "This better be good," she muttered under her breath. Jason gave her a look that said be patient, but even he was uneasy. Ronnie had been acting strange for weeks, dodging questions and looking like a man haunted by something he couldn't shake. When Ronnie finally entered, the room fell silent. His eyes darted around, landing briefly on each face: Dante, Anna, Sonny, Carly, Jason, Sam, and even Nina, who'd shown up curious about what this was all about. "Thanks for coming," Ronnie began, his voice rough. "I know I owe everyone in this room the truth, and it's time I finally say it." Dante leaned forward. "The truth about what, Ronnie? You've been dodging us for days." Ronnie exhaled sharply, rubbing the back of his neck. "About everything that's happened, the investigation, the missing files, and why certain people in Port Charles were targeted." Anna crossed her arms. "You'd better start talking fast, because if this is some kind of game, I'm not in the mood." Ronnie swallowed hard and stepped closer to the center. "It's not a game, Anna. It's a confession. I've been lying to everyone. The evidence that disappeared from the PCPD didn't just vanish, it was taken by me." A collective gasp swept through the room. Dante shot to his feet, eyes wide. You? You took the evidence?" Ronnie nodded slowly. "Yeah. I took it. But not for the reasons you think." Sonny's tone turned sharp, dangerous. "You better explain before someone in this room loses their patience." Ronnie's hands trembled slightly as he spoke. "I didn't take it for money or leverage. I took it because I was trying to protect someone innocent." Carly's eyes narrowed. "Protect who?" "Because from where I'm standing, you've done nothing but cause chaos." Ronnie looked at her, his expression heavy with guilt. "I did it to protect someone I thought was innocent until I found out they weren't." Sam stepped forward, curiosity and dread mixed in her expression. "Who are you talking about, Ronnie?" He hesitated, his gaze shifting between Sonny and Dante. "I thought I was protecting a friend, someone I trusted, but I was wrong. It was all a setup." The tension deepened. Dante's jaw clenched. "You're telling me you risked your badge for someone who played you?" Ronnie nodded. "Yeah. And it's killing me to admit it." He took a shaky breath before continuing. "The person behind all of this, the missing evidence, the false leads, the attacks, it wasn't some random criminal. It was someone working from inside the system." Anna's eyes narrowed. "Inside the PCPD?" Ronnie met her gaze. "Yes. One of our own." The room erupted with murmurs. Jason's eyes darkened. "You're saying there's a dirty cop feeding information to the enemy?" Ronnie nodded grimly. "Exactly. And I have proof now." Dante slammed his hand against the table. "Why didn't you come to me first? I'm your partner." Ronnie's voice broke slightly. "Because I couldn't trust anyone. Not even you, Dante. Not until I knew for sure who was pulling the strings." The silence that followed was deafening. Sonny finally broke it. "So who is it? Who's betraying us from the inside?" Ronnie looked down for a long moment before lifting his eyes again. "It's Officer Bennett. He's been working with an outside organization, moving drugs through Port Charles under the radar, using our cases as cover." Anna's eyes widened in shock. "Bennett? He's been with the force for years." Ronnie nodded. "That's why it worked. No one questioned him. Dante paced the floor, his hands on his head. You realize what this means? Every case we've handled for the last year might be compromised. Ronnie's tone was filled with regret. I know. And that's on me. I should have come forward sooner. Carly's voice dripped with sarcasm. Oh, now you decide to confess? After all the damage? Ronnie turned to her. You think I wanted this? You think I wanted to lie to everyone I care about? I was trying to fix things before anyone got hurt. Sunny's tone was low and threatening. People did get hurt. You let this guy run free, and now half the city's paying for it. Ronnie's eyes welled up. I know. And I'll take whatever punishment comes my way. But you all needed to know the truth before more blood gets spilled. Jason stepped closer, his voice calm but firm. If what you're saying is true, we need evidence. Words aren't enough. Ronnie nodded and reached into his jacket, pulling out a small flash drive. It's all here, emails, financial transfers, and recordings. I got it from Bennett's locker before he realized I knew. Dante took it, his hands shaking slightly. We'll verify it. Anna looked skeptical. If this checks out, we'll arrest him immediately. But, Ronnie, this doesn't clear you. You obstructed an active investigation. Ronnie nodded. I'm aware. I'll take full responsibility. Carly wasn't done. You always say that, but people always end up paying for your choices. You're sorry, but sorry doesn't bring back what's been lost. Ronnie's voice broke. You're right. It doesn't. But I'm not hiding anymore. There was a long, uncomfortable pause. Then Sam asked softly, why now? Why tell us tonight? Ronnie turned toward her, eyes haunted. Because Bennett knows I found out. He's not going to stop until he silences me, and anyone else who knows. Sunny straightened, his expression fierce. Then we'll protect you. But you better not be playing us again. Ronnie shook his head. No games, Sunny. Not this time. Suddenly, the door burst open and Bennett himself stood there, gun drawn. You just couldn't keep your mouth shut, could you, Ronnie? He sneered. Chaos erupted. Dante moved instantly, pulling his weapon. Drop it, Bennett. Bennett laughed. You think I'm stupid? You think I'm going down for this? He aimed his gun at Ronnie. You made a big mistake. Ronnie froze, hands raised. Don't do this, Bennett. It's over. Bennett's voice cracked with fury. No. You ruined everything. The tension snapped like glass as Jason lunged forward just as a shot rang out. Screams filled the room. The bullet hit the wall inches from Ronnie's shoulder before Dante tackled Bennett to the ground. In seconds, the gun was kicked away, and Sunny held it at his side, breathing hard. The following day, Port Charles felt heavier than ever. The explosion at the docks had rattled the city, and whispers spread like wildfire through every corner, from Kelly's diner to the halls of the PCPD. The media had caught wind of the chaos, running headlines about a suspected criminal network strike gone wrong. Anna was already at the station before dawn, eyes red from lack of sleep, reviewing the few fragments of intel the fire hadn't destroyed. Ronnie walked in quietly, his expression grim, holding 2 cups of coffee. Figured you could use this, he said softly, placing one on her desk. Anna didn't look up at first. You shouldn't be here, Ronnie, she said, her tone clipped. Internal Affairs is already asking questions. He shrugged. They can ask all they want. I'm not hiding. Anna finally looked at him, her sharp gaze softening slightly. You realize you're walking a thin line. After what happened, half the department wants your badge. Ronnie gave a humorless laugh. What else is new? The other half probably wants me gone too. She sighed. You've made mistakes, but right now, you're the only one who might be able to help us figure out who's still out there. He sat down across from her. Then let me do it. I'll go back through Bennett's files, every connection he had, every call he made before the raid. There has to be something we missed. Anna nodded. Do it quietly. No one else knows we're reopening this lead. As Ronnie got to work, Dante arrived, his face still bandaged from the explosion. You two are early, he said, dropping into a chair. Or maybe you never left. Ronnie smirked faintly. Sleep's overrated. Dante's eyes hardened. You're not wrong. We've got a problem, though. The evidence locker, someone broke in last night. Anna stood immediately. What was taken? Dante's voice lowered. The flash drive. The one you gave us, Ronnie. Ronnie froze. That's impossible. It was supposed to be under lock and key. Dante nodded grimly. Well, it's gone now. And whoever took it knew exactly where to look. Carly, meanwhile, was at the Metro Court, venting to Sam over breakfast. I knew this wasn't over, she said, frustration sharp in her tone. You think you clean up one mess in this town, and another one explodes, literally. Sam stirred her coffee quietly. Ronnie's confession might have stopped Bennett, but it exposed something bigger. I think someone wanted that flash drive. Carly raised an eyebrow. You think this new player, this Marcus Vale, is real? Sam nodded. I think whoever's behind that name is smarter than all of us think. And if they were willing to blow up a warehouse to protect their operation, they won't stop there. Jason entered the Metro Court a few moments later, joining their table. Carly looked up. Well? What did you find out? Jason leaned in. Not much. Sonny's people checked the docks again, nothing but ashes. But one of the security cameras near the bridge caught a black SUV leaving the area right before the explosion. Carly frowned. License plate? Jason shook his head. Switched. No trace. But whoever's running this isn't just a random criminal. This feels organized. Sam's expression darkened. Then Ronnie's in more danger than ever. Back at the PCPD, Ronnie stared at the empty evidence locker, fury building inside him. I can't believe this, he muttered. Dante crossed his arms. You sure no one else knew where that flash drive was? Ronnie shook his head. Only Anna, you, and the chief of detectives. Dante frowned. Then one of us got played. Anna returned, holding a piece of paper. You're both going to want to see this. We got a tip, anonymous. Said the flash drive was sold last night to a buyer at the docks. Someone with connections overseas. Ronnie cursed under his breath. Whoever sent that tip is either trying to help us or lead us into another trap. Anna's jaw tightened. We'll find out soon enough. By late afternoon, the PCPD team assembled in the operations room. Maps, photos, and lists of suspects covered the walls. Anna pointed at one image. The warehouse where the drive was sold is under surveillance. We move in tonight. Dante nodded. We'll keep it quiet this time. No leaks. Ronnie stood near the back, silent but determined. He knew this could be his only chance to make things right, or his last. When night fell, the team gathered near the waterfront, dressed in tactical gear. The wind carried the smell of smoke from the burned-out ruins of the previous explosion. Anna gave the signal, and they moved in, silent and swift. Ronnie stayed close to Dante, weapon drawn, his eyes scanning every shadow. Inside the warehouse, faint light flickered from a single bulb. Voices echoed from deeper inside, low, deliberate, foreign accents. Dante motioned for silence, then moved closer to the sound. They peered around a stack of crates and saw 3 men standing around a table. One of them held the flash drive. Anna whispered, "We move on my mark." But before she could give the order, one of the men turned suddenly, spotting movement. "Police!" he shouted. Gunfire erupted instantly. Chaos filled the warehouse as bullets ricocheted off metal beams. Ronnie ducked behind a crate, firing back. "They're trying to destroy the drive," he yelled. Dante returned fire, covering Anna as she moved forward. One suspect went down, another bolted for the door. Ronnie sprinted after him, the adrenaline roaring through his veins. Outside, rain began to fall as Ronnie tackled the man near the loading dock. The flash drive flew from his hand, skidding across the wet pavement. Ronnie wrestled with him, the fight brutal and desperate. "Who do you work for?" Ronnie demanded, pinning him down. The man spat blood, smirking. "You'll never stop him. Veil is everywhere." Ronnie's eyes darkened. "Not if I find him first." Before he could say more, a shot rang out from the shadows, the man went limp. Ronnie spun around, gun raised, but no one was there. Whoever had fired that shot had perfect aim, a professional. Ronnie stood at the edge of the pier later that night, the cold wind brushing against his face as the lights of Port Charles shimmered across the dark water. His confession had brought relief, but it also opened up a floodgate of new fears. He'd done the right thing, finally, but the fallout had only just begun. He could still hear Bennett's final words echoing in his mind, "You have no idea who you're dealing with." Those weren't just words of defiance, they were a warning. He knew Bennett wasn't smart enough to run such a large operation on his own. There had to be someone higher up, someone still out there. Dante approached quietly from behind, his footsteps crunching on the wooden boards. "I thought I'd find you here," he said softly. Ronnie didn't turn around. "You always knew where to look." Dante came to stand beside him. "You okay?" Ronnie gave a humorless laugh. "Okay? I confessed to stealing evidence, helped take down a dirty cop, and probably painted a target on my back. So yeah, I guess I'm as okay as I can be." Dante sighed. "You did the right thing, Ronnie. That counts for something." Ronnie looked at him, his eyes heavy. "Maybe. But it doesn't erase what I did. I broke every rule there is. I don't expect forgiveness." Dante's voice softened. "You're not the first cop to make bad calls for good reasons. The difference is, you faced it. That takes guts." Ronnie appreciated the words, but guilt still weighed him down. "Do you really think anyone's going to trust me again? Anna's probably writing my suspension papers right now." Dante shook his head. "She's angry, yeah. But she also knows you risked your life tonight. She'll make sure you get some kind of break." Ronnie looked out at the water. "I don't need a break. I just want this whole thing to end. I want the city safe again." Dante hesitated. "It's not over, Ronnie. You saw how calm Bennett was even after he was caught. There's something else going on. We've got to find out what." Across town, Anna sat in her office at the PCPD, the lights dim. The email from Bennett's account still glowed on her computer screen. She had already forwarded it to the tech division for decryption, but her instincts were screaming that this wasn't just another loose end. There was something much deeper, something dangerous. When Jordan Ashford walked in, Anna looked up. "Did you see the file I sent you?" Jordan nodded. "Yeah. Whatever Bennett was into, it's not small time. There's money being funneled from offshore accounts into dummy companies all over the city. This operation is bigger than we thought." Anna exhaled slowly. Which means Bennett wasn't the only one on the inside. Back at the pier, Ronnie's phone buzzed. It was a text from Anna, "Need you at the station. Now." New developments. He looked at Dante. "Well, that didn't take long." Dante nodded grimly. "Let's go." When they arrived at the station, the atmosphere was electric with tension. Officers moved quickly through the halls, whispers filling the air. Anna met them near the conference room. "We decrypted the email," she said. "And you're not going to like what it says." She led them inside, where Jordan stood by a monitor displaying a web of names, companies, and numbers. Anna pointed to the top of the chart. This entire network connects back to one person, a financier based in Port Charles. Someone we all know. Dante frowned. Who? Anna turned to face them. Victor Cassadine. Ronnie's stomach dropped. You've got to be kidding me. He's dead. Anna nodded. So we thought. But someone using his identity has been pulling strings behind the scenes, and all the trails lead back to a new alias, Marcus Vale. He's been buying up property around the docks, including warehouses used in Bennett's smuggling routes. Dante's eyes widened. So this isn't just a local operation. It's international. Anna nodded grimly. And we're sitting right in the middle of it. Ronnie rubbed his forehead. So everything that's happened, the missing evidence, the false leads, it was all part of something bigger. Anna replied, exactly. Bennett was just one pawn in a much larger game. And now that he's in custody, whoever's behind this will start cleaning house. Dante's expression darkened. Meaning they'll come for Ronnie. Ronnie gave a small, humorless chuckle. Wouldn't be the first time someone tried. Anna placed a hand on his shoulder. We'll make sure you're protected. But we need your help to take this operation apart. Later that night, Ronnie sat in the interrogation room, staring at photos spread across the table. Images of Bennett, the docks, files of financial transfers, it was a maze of corruption. Sam entered quietly, holding 2 cups of coffee. Figured you could use this, she said. Ronnie looked up with a faint smile. Thanks. You didn't have to. She sat down across from him. You're the talk of the town right now. Half the PCPD thinks you're a hero, the other half thinks you're finished. Ronnie smirked. Story of my life. Sam studied him for a moment. Why'd you really do it, Ronnie? You could have walked away, let the system deal with it. He met her eyes, his voice quiet. Because too many people already got hurt. I wasn't going to stand by and let more people die because I was too scared to act. Sam nodded slowly, respect softening her expression. You know, Jason used to say something like that. Sometimes doing the right thing means getting your hands dirty. Ronnie chuckled. Sounds like something he'd say. There was a brief silence before Sam leaned forward. Anna's planning to move on this Marcus Vale lead soon. You ready for that? Ronnie hesitated. Ready? I don't know. But I'm not running. Not anymore. Meanwhile, at the Metro Court, Sonny sat in his office, staring at a file Dante had dropped off earlier. Inside were details about the Cassadine connection. He muttered to himself, of course it's another Cassadine. It always comes back to them. Carly walked in, reading the look on his face. Let me guess, it's bad. Sonny handed her the file. It's worse than bad. If Victor, or whoever's using his name, is still alive, we're all in trouble. Carly frowned. You think he's coming after you? Sonny's eyes darkened. He's coming after everyone. Ronnie's confession just lit the fuse. Back at the PCPD, Anna and Jordan were finalizing an operation plan. We move at dawn, Anna said. We'll raid the docks, seize the containers, and bring in anyone connected to Marcus Vale's accounts. Jordan nodded. And if we're walking into a trap? Anna met her gaze. Then we deal with it. Ronnie overheard the exchange as he entered. I'm in, he said simply. Anna turned to him. You sure? You've been through enough. Ronnie nodded. If this is the mess I helped uncover, I'm seeing it through. Hours later, the docks were alive with flashing lights and the echo of boots on pavement. The team moved in formation, weapons drawn. Dante signaled the others as they approached the main warehouse. On 3, he whispered. 1, 2, before he could say 3, an explosion tore through the night, knocking everyone to the ground. Chaos erupted. Fire lit up the sky, and the air filled with smoke and debris. Ronnie scrambled to his feet, coughing. Dante! Anna, he shouted. He saw Dante pulling himself up a few feet away, blood trickling down his forehead. Anna was barking orders, trying to regain control of the scene. Everyone fall back! Get the injured out! As firefighters arrived, Ronnie's phone buzzed again. A new message. You were warned. This is just the beginning. No number, no traceable signature. Ronnie stared at it, his pulse pounding. Dante saw the look on his face. What is it? Ronnie handed him the phone. Someone's playing us. This explosion, it wasn't an accident. They knew we were coming. Dante's jaw tightened. We've got a leak. Again. By the time the smoke cleared, the warehouse was gone. Any evidence of Marcus Vale's operation had been burned to ash. Anna looked around at the destruction, fury flashing in her eyes. Someone tipped them off, she said coldly. Someone inside our team. Ronnie's stomach twisted. It's happening again. Back at the station, the investigation continued through the night. Tension hung heavy in the air. Ronnie sat alone at his desk, reviewing what little was left of the files. He could feel eyes on him, some suspicious, others sympathetic. When Dante approached, Ronnie spoke before he could. They think I did it again, don't they? Dante hesitated. Some do. But I don't. Ronnie looked up. Thanks. Not sure how many more of these I can survive. Dante gave a small smile. Then let's make sure this is the last one. As dawn broke, Anna received a call from forensics. We found something, the tech said. A single fragment of metal in the debris, part of a detonator. It's military grade. Anna's pulse quickened. Meaning? The voice on the line replied, meaning whoever's behind this has resources far beyond anything local. This isn't just a Port Charles problem. That night, Sonny got a call from an unknown number. He answered cautiously. Yeah? A distorted voice replied, tell your friend Ronnie he should have stayed quiet. The next confession won't save him. The line went dead. Sonny stared at the phone, jaw tightening. So it begins, he muttered. Meanwhile, Ronnie sat at the station staring at the city lights outside the window. The truth had set him free, but also painted him as a target. The people he cared about were now in danger because of what he'd revealed. He clenched his fists, determination burning in his chest. You want to come after me? He whispered to himself. Fine. But this time, I'm ready. In Port Charles, no secret stayed buried for long. And as the shadows deepened around him, one thing was certain, Ronnie's shocking confession had only peeled back the first layer of a much darker truth. The game wasn't over. It was only just beginning.